welcome back to the channel. This is a live video and I'll be posting it back later on so you'll be able to watch it. So if you're watching the playback, welcome. If you're new, my name is Janelle. The channel is called Love Janelle. I made a colorway speed video about 3 years ago or so, and this is part two. It's a long time coming. um I've actually made this video several times, but kind of just there's always been something that wasn't quite perfect for me, so I've redone it. Now I'm trying to, no, not trying to, I'm getting rid of perfectionism because we don't get anything accomplished with that, and I'm just getting it done, right? So I have my handy dandy notebook that's going to help me along right now, because that was part of the perfectionism. I didn't want to be looking down. I had to super edit and do a bunch of things that weren't necessary. So here I am live. Um, I haven't been having any company. Well, not any. I don't want to be ungrateful for what I have received, but I don't typically have a large viewing for the live. So this video is actually just going to be straightforward. Let me get right to it actually. All right. So again, like I said, this is the second part to the first video I had. So the colors that I went over in the first video, I'm going to quickly list them out. So if you do want to go ahead and watch that first, or any order, it doesn't matter, they're just all colors, and it's good to learn about all of them, right? And I am going to cover some of the colors I covered in the first video, along with some shades. I'm going to have timestamps, and if there are any product links or suggestions or anything, they will be down in the description. I am going to go over the colors. So in the first video, if you want to know about other colors, I had covered red, blue, yellow, black, white, green, clear, which is transparent, orange, turquoise, purple, brown, and gold. So I went in a little bit with some of those colors. I am gonna go over a few right now, but I am also going to make this more of a series, and I want to go more in depth of each color. Um, Maybe starting with the chakra series, because I realize they're very popular with amongst you guys. So if don't want to call you guys, right? Lovelies, right? So if you have any suggestions of colors that you want to go more in depth with, let me know. And then I also want to know if you want more chakra themed videos, because I've realized how I've incorporated in the chakras. Even though the colors are more Western, I still like to vibe with the colors um, when aligning my chakras. So allowing that into my daily practice has really helped a lot. So if you want to, I could do it in order of chakras if you want a more detailed video with those things too, right? Um, Sorry, I'm going to make sure my throat doesn't get too dry. This is a little green tea and nothing else. No, it got me, it took me a while to get to just green tea with no added anything. It used to have my stomach upset whenever I tried it without anything. I'm hoping I already put the timestamp on the screen to let you know where you could have jumped forward. Because, all right, so colors. First one I want to go over is silver. I thought I mentioned silver in it. I also mentioned colors within other waist speed videos. So if you're interested in just learning more, but those are just impromptu. They weren't planned or anything. But okay, silver is purity, mental clarity. It's reflection, it's mirror. Because obviously, you were gonna pick a color for a mirror, it would be silver, right? So it has reflective properties. Um, Again, clarity. So anytime you are working with your root chakra, typically represented in red, but whenever you want to ground yourself. So symptoms of that you would need silver in your waist beads incorporated in your life. You are feeling insecure, unwanted, unloved. You're you're sure about your shelter, um, as far as paying your basic human needs, financial needs, if whatever needs your basic needs that need to be met. All right. So um, anytime you aren't in alignment, you can go outside and ground. And I recommend doing that with some silver. You can use red also. Like I said, that's a root chakra color. And that using the energy from the sun in your silver waist beads, you can center yourself. Um, Practice things like breath work, meditation. You can do deep stretching, um, yoga if you want to get into the practice of yoga. But if that is too intimidating, just stretch your body, move and bend and flow. Allow your body to do what it naturally wants to do. If you are bending into a particular position and it feels good, you hold that there and let it go. Imagine what you actually imagine what you want to create as if it's already available to you. Um, you're going to be very clear in your requests. And again, the silver is to help invoke that energy to bring that purity and that clarity without the distractions of the world. And that's why I do recommend going outside. If you can go further out into nature, take any opportunity you can to do that. So, silver, let's see. Yeah, so silver represents, again, like I said, the mirror, the things that you need to change about you. You won't be able to recognize that until you hold it up to a mirror. And also, things won't change in that reflection until you change yourself. So, doing some shadow work, taking some time out to really get to know who you are, why you are the way you are, and things like that. Silver is going to help you center yourself to be able to do that a lot easier. Oh, and if you want a video regarding shadow work and how to do it and things like that, I can come back with that. So let me know in the comment section down below if you want to know more techniques. It isn't as difficult as it may seem, and it's not as dark. I don't know. Maybe we need another. I know there's other terms that people use, but for the most part, it's just uncovering the to me the way I understand shadow work is whenever you experience things in life, it especially when they're more traumatic, they tend to shape you. Sometimes they're not even traumatic. Sometimes you may witness somebody do something and internalize it a certain way and decide that that's going to be the way you, well, not it's not conscious all the time, but you may go forward and decide that's how you're going to conduct yourself or not conduct yourself based on how you feel upon that person or what's happening in front of you, right? So that experience will cast a shadow upon your life. So it's your behaviors are going to be determined based on um, well, just it's just going to be based on how you feel measured up against that initial experience you experienced, right? So I don't really want to go into examples because I feel like I'm going to veer off too much and I really want to stay on topic with this. But if you want more discussion with that, let me know in the description. But um, call it what you want. You really want to ask yourself why. And that's one of the techniques for free. Ask yourself why until there's no more why left. And that's the main thing. So if you, let's say, and you need to really pay attention to yourself, and that's, so let's say you tend to do something like even this. Let's say you randomly stem in a certain way, you don't know why. You might just ask yourself, why did I do that? When did I start doing that? And then you keep asking until the answer finally comes. Sometimes it doesn't come in that moment that you're asking, but eventually it pops into your mind, and then you can decide in that moment whether you want to continue to do whatever you're doing, um, if it makes rational sense, why you came up with any story behind doing it subconsciously, and then you can actually decide to stop. And when you decide to stop, then it goes, if you want to. So that's pretty much what like shadow work is good for. And again, if you're going to be working on that, silver is a good color. And even just mirror, but then mirror work is another practice to help with that shadow work too. So ivory, and it's, I see ivory now, and it does remind me of how epigenetics works. And it sounds weird, like how did I connect the two? I just thought about how growing up, how huge those tusks of elephants were, how regal they were. So ivory is a regal color. We'll start there. And you, when you think of ivory, you think of, I think of brides that don't typically want to wear white, so they will wear ivory. So a lot of the qualities, purity, um, you let the others. Sorry, I was trying to do everything in my head, but like purity, elegance, you, and you're gonna associate that with white, but that also transfers to ivory. I personally like ivory a little more. It's a little warmer to me. Ivory is more smooth than vanilla or creamy. It's, I also can get notes of like cinnamon and stuff when it comes to ivory. But so anyway, ivory brings, invokes that umami feeling. So if you are in need of comfort, ivory is a good color to work with. Again, it is elegant and it's demure and it's regal, so you can, um, if you are new to waist beads and are not sure where to start, I would start with some ivory beads or some white beads, a nice white set. Like, let's see. I did put, like, I just put random notes because it will trigger my mind and remind me what to say, or what I thought about it for the most part. But I put on here cocoa butter, and ivory for me is cocoa butter as well. So I realized all of those adjectives, they all too they all invoke that softness, that comfort. So if you are similar to silver, that if you need stability and bit of clarity, because that's white also brings clarity. If you want to go back to the first video, but ivory, clarity, and if you are working on building self-esteem, I didn't add that with the silver, but that's also something that's silver embodies. Let's see. The next color, wait, yeah, so notes I've had already went over those things already, seen if I left anything. Okay, so ivory is when you are also on a faith walk, ivory is a color that you want to adorn. It represents purity, like I mentioned, spirituality, um, new beginnings. That's just like white. So you definitely should look more into those shades, or like, because neutrals. So silver is considered a neutral. Whenever you are working on, well, like I said, stabilizing, neutrals are also really good for that. Earth colors are really good for that. Earth tones, like the greens, the browns, and things like that. Um, I have next here light pink. So I did cover pink in the first video, but I have specifically light and dark pink, and I believe that was because I had some questions surrounding which type of pink, and the deeper you venture into colorology and waist beads and things like that, you get to see that there are variances in colors and energies that they invoke. But for the most part, you're gonna get a set of qualities. But then for light pink, that is representative of innocence and kindness and youthfulness. When you think of light pink, you do think of young girls a lot of the time. It represents innocence, like did I say innocence or purity? Um, Similar to the white. When I think of light pink, I also think of hope, um, because it is a color of hope. Think of Susan G. Komen, the Breast Cancer Society. They sport a lot of light pink. Of course, they have a bit of fuchsia throughout, running throughout, but whenever you think of that brand, they did really well with their branding. It's that light hope pink. Um, it's a color of compassion. So, you do want to compassion. That could be a video all on its own, and I try my best to stay on track. But yes, we want to. If you have had maybe once or twice someone tell you that you should be more compassionate, maybe not as bold to say compassionate, but if you're being told you're a bit too selfish, that you're not being thoughtful, um, if you are, you're just wondering if you are um, doing a bit too much, if you're in doubt, because it might not be you, but if you are in doubt, get yourself some light pink waist beads and work through that. See how you're feeling. Also, with all of these colors, you should be going outside and writing, like journaling, doing anything creative you can outside. Let's see, what else do I have? Um, yeah, so self love. Um, Whenever you are trying to, or not trying to, you're gonna hear me correct myself a bit, because this is still me, my real life, and fixing language has been a huge part of my journey. And yeah, words are important. The way you think about yourself derives from a lot of the words that you use and thoughts that you think. So, and yeah, the words you use are, they do manipulate your thoughts. So make sure you're using the right ones, and we don't try, we do. We do as we do, and it gets done, and then there's nothing else to think about. Do you remember when what's her name, Sukiana, did that interview with Bobby, and she was like, thinking is ghetto, she knows, and people didn't get it, but the ones that got it. That it's a knowing, it's a doing. In order for you to manifest and create what you want, you just have to do. I'm doing now. Can't wait for things to be perfect. So, in order for you to feel confident enough to just do, I would suggest doing some self work, using some of the silver, like I mentioned. Use some ivory. Use some of the pink when you're getting some time for you. Mummies, mothers, just people, because there are fathers. I doubt you're sitting here watching me, but if you are, hi, welcome. If you're not a father, anyone, just anyone that is here and spent 20 minutes with me already, I'm grateful. Even if you've just skipped through and come here, grateful to you. Thank you. But we need to prioritize spending time with ourselves. Um, of course, we're talking about waist beads because that is what is predominantly on my channel. Um, but these colors could be just worn in your outfits, just around you. Um, Whenever you need a certain energy, I feel like I'm right now. I'm pulling a lot of green. Just looking around, so I have green here. You see, this is sported a lot here. Of course, we have purple here. But when I was drinking, so just green, right? And I'll find a lot of the time that my I will gravitate to a certain color. Oh, I need, remember I'm drinking green tea, right? So, and that wasn't on purpose. I'm putting it together now. And then whenever I recognize that I'm sporting a lot of a certain color, I check in with myself and I ask, okay, green is love anahana chakra. Green is also nature. Green is, so am I being called to go out into nature? Have some more of that, like attract like type of thing. Um, so a lot of the time when you're not sure what colors to use, because of course I'm giving you ideas of what these colors are for, but just see what things you're gravitating towards right now and embrace it. Just see my nails. I did my nails yesterday, and then they kind of, I did my nails before, sorry, I took my nails off, and then now it's kind of all that. I didn't want to mess with them too much because they feel kind of raw, so put a protective coat, and then I shouldn't put nails polish on, but they were looking really bad. um, Let me quickly, I'm gonna quickly run through all my light pink to make sure I've covered everything I wanted to cover. Um, I'm not gonna apologize for it not coming out how I wanted to. I was about to, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna do what we do. Just hopefully it all works out. If I have to come back and just make a more straight, polished, edited video, then I will. But all right. So use a lot of the light pink for self-care time. If you want to that constant reminder, that's where you'll incorporate those waist beads. Have light pink waist beads on a lot of the time for your for some confidence, right? Wait, yeah, we and then just a reminder to the light pink is a reminder to not be so hard on yourself. We do We're indoctrinated into a society that is very hard on women. And then we are taught that we're not worthy enough, and then we end up, and I'm not saying every woman, of course, but for the most part, that's most of our experience, whether it's conscious or subconscious. But um, we're in a society that kind of demonizes us for whatever we do, and then we start to do it to ourselves. We need to actively step out of that, and that's why I do what I'm doing here. I want to remind you to be loving to yourself. It doesn't need We don't need anyone else to be loving to us. We just need us to be loving to us. Nobody else matters. And I say that with like a little nerve in my waist because it sounds a little annoying. Well, it's not annoying, but it just sounds a little odd. Being a mother, because along with being demonized, well, that's part of it. We're supposed to put our children first, and then it's shameful not to, or it's other mothers. We all do it to one another. You kind of say, no, well, my kid comes first. Blah, blah, blah. It There's a point where it becomes too much, and you're going to have to put to yourself first. Where um, this video, watching this video right now, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you are taking some time for you. Probably listening to this in the background because it's not necessary for you to sit and watch the whole video. I listen to a lot of, I listen to a lot of videos. Gonna get back on topic. So, yeah, that's the light pink. Take care of yourself. Also add some of that to your home. Light pink is also, like I mentioned, color of innocence, and it's a youthful color. A lot of tribes will use light pink to represent that purity, innocence, and youth, and like not necessarily coming of age as far as older teens or from teen tweens up or whatever, but even that 6 7 8 type of phase where they're no longer toddlers anymore. Then 4 is a bit more grown, but like 5 6 7 8, or like 6 7 8, I would say you can give your daughter a set of waist beads, and having a practice of self-love with her. So maybe you could have a matching set with her. I just envisioned some pink waist beads with pink crystals on them, but not clear quartz, like more of a deeper pink. I'll have to look into it, but that would be really cute for you to have a matching set, and then like a moment every week where you'll come together and speak with one another about your bodies, and how you're feeling about it, your feelings about just how you're taking on the world, and you can invest that time with one another and incorporate the waist beads. And then also, it could be a reminder to your daughter that you love her and you're with her always. So it's not very expensive to make waist beads. I have lots of tutorials showing you how to make waist beads. So if you don't have it for the luxurious jewelry, things like that, and you don't want to get cheaper jewelry to tarnish, um, we can work our way up to things like that. So you can start simply with some waist beads. Um, Again, it's something that you can bond with, and I'm gonna really look into that pink set because my head now, I've got that. I don't know what that thing is, but I've been able to be clearing them recently. Like when you have that urge, that feeling, that idea, and you have to live it through. So that's where I'm going with that. So that was light pink. Another color. Next color is hot pink. Hot pink is passion, love. It's femininity, it's playfulness, it's confidence. You have to be very confident to wear like a full suit of hot pink. So when you think about hot pink and someone like that, think of being out there. So if you are a little more reserved and you want to pop out, lash out, get out there, if you want to get out there dating and you want to invoke some of that passion, like I my words aren't coming right now. It's so annoying when this happens, and that's what happens when I turn the camera on. I'll be talking, I'm like a linguist, and everything comes to me and flows, but then yeah, anyhow, so if you want a little more confidence with dating, with anything, if you, let's say you have a meeting coming up with work, and or you want a promotion or something to make you feel powerful, red is a power color, yes, and think about how close that hot pink is to red. So invoking some red waist, I mean hot pink waist beads, and I didn't, you know what, hot pink and red might not look too bad. I'm having these color combinations as I'm going, but yeah, I will stick a pin in a few of them and make some videos. Yeah. So, and then hot pink and the light pink. So the you want to be very feminine and sensual. You can mix the two. Let's see. I have here. It's yeah. If you are, because I did that. All right. if you're on your spicy journey, if you're trying to discover, no, if you are discovering yourself, as far as what you enjoy, invoking the having the color of having some hot pink can help bring that out of you, bring out the so and then see having some hot pink will bring that out of you. We talk about doing the shadow work. When you're working with these, you want to ask a lot of questions about how you feel sexually, how comfortable, how confident you are in the bedroom. What are your limitations? What do you believe is appropriate versus not? Just everything that encompasses sexuality and how you feel about it, that's the color you want to really hold on to while working your way through that. And then next color, peach. Okay, so peach represents peach represents fertility and long-lasting life. So for me, I think of white as well when you describe the qualities of peach, but peach, it has an umami, that has a love, that has a warmth. It does have that energy, that um, that energy that comes after you. Don't feel as if you're having a good life at this very moment. All right. So a lot of us will have our ups and downs. And then sometimes when you're coming from the down, well, you have a down and you feel overwhelmed. And then there comes a feeling, that sensation that makes you feel loved. It's a light, but the light isn't white necessarily. All right. So peach is that. All right. So if you are feeling unstable, if life is like helter skelter, you don't know what you're doing in the world, you are on that faith walk, you're trying to figure out which way is up. FYI, every way is up. Every answer is correct. That can be another video, so I'll put a pin in that. If you want to know more about that, let me know in the comment section. But peach is going to help you work through that. It can help to trigger that energy a lot sooner. Sometimes it like it's a you see when the description is like an auto shot of like when you're so overwhelmed and it just but it does feel like a it's usually triggered, so that peach, having the energy of peach around you in you, it can help calm you. And here's the thing, a lot of people like to discount waist beads and the color and the science behind all of this because they're ignorant to it. But like I said, the science behind it, there's actual science behind color because it's huge, huge. Color plays a huge role in our life. And it's crazy to me. I'm going to liken it to parenthood, right? So, like, we will look at our children, and some of us are lucky enough, or not, whatever, however you choose to look at it, but our children will become carbon copies of us. They look exactly like us. And we've experienced it since our own childhood coming up. It's normal to see families look alike, right? Then sometimes you'll see people get weirded out when you say, oh yeah, he acts just like his dad, or she acts just like her father, and or even the other way around, but it doesn't matter. So some people will toe the line at the looks, right? So they're not even gonna venture to think that someone might act like someone that they came from, even though the DNA allowed them to look like them. The DNA will stop them from allowing them to act like that. So that's weird. Okay, so then another thing, a person might have the exact we'll say act is the mannerisms, but just it keeps going on, and my mind is blanking, so I don't want to go too far from my point. But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, um, people have to suspend disbelief. Just because it doesn't make sense to you doesn't mean it's not true, or a thing that is worthy of opening your mind, you know. um so if you can understand that DNA plays a part in allowing features be passed down to another person, and you might not like the idea that, oh, that person has the same, even though something you can't see, the same blood as their parent, they'll have the same features, they'll have the same, um there was something that I was trying to get to, and that's why I'm a bit annoyed right now, because can't quite put my finger on it, but I'll just bring it back to the color. So color obviously plays a huge part. Yes, there are people that cannot see the colors, and we all see colors very differently. Um, but they, for since the beginning of time, color has played a role in our behavior. Because it is such a huge deal in our lives, it's studied all the time. It's used against us, for us. Whenever you're thinking about food, certain colors will come to your head. Whenever you're thinking about danger, hot stuff, what color comes to mind? Whenever you're thinking of joy and summer, what colors comes to mind? When you think of the letter A, what color comes to your mind? And that one is a bit funny. I want to make a video venturing into that. I think that's synesthesia and all of those kind of things, when you're able to see color and hear sound. Well, you do hear color, and you do see, but hear color and see sound and stuff like that. And how our that's one thing, but I'm mixing everything up right now. But then there's another thing that I want to talk about, where we I believe it has a lot to do with those shapes that we put on the freezer or the fridge when we were younger, them all being different colors and shapes. But then also, when you think of, um, for me, I think of the colors like a triangle. What color comes to mind? A square, circle, those kind of things. They all play a role in our life, because we've kind of been programmed that way. But I feel like a lot of it is passed down. Epigenetics is passed down for us to know certain colors correlate with certain things mean. So it's evolution, right? Color, blue being communication, think of social media. A lot of them are starting to venture away from the original colors of the blues and grays, but then black and white are also a communication color too. So you'll see that in like TikTok, but originally Instagram had that blue, Facebook blue, like MySpace. Yes. Food. I did not want to venture down this too much. Okay. Hopefully you're using timestamps if you don't want to be in all of this. But if you're with me, you're rocking with me. Thank you. Um, but yeah, where are we? Fertility. Peach is fertility. I don't think we moved on from peach, but if you are having trouble conceiving, energetically, you need to keep yourself calm, that warm, that loving, that hug. Peach. And it's sweet, it's innocent. Oh, I like coral too. Um, for those same reasons, because you need that same type of family. So peach is a big energy color for your kindness, self-control, dedication. It is good for your faith walks also, just like white and ivory adorning full suits of peach can invoke that energy of openness and clarity, and just gratitude for that life that you've received, the life that you receive, the life you receive every moment. Because we act as if it's just one time that we've received life, when we're literally receiving life every moment of the day. Nothing is guaranteed. The next breath is not guaranteed. Waking up in the morning, it's not guaranteed. It's waking up, period. It's not guaranteed. And it doesn't, you don't have to have a pre existing condition to pass on in your sleep. Know that. Just know that. So that your brain can literally say, oh, that's it. It will forget to tell you to breathe. The fact that we're able to breathe without telling ourselves to breathe, I was going to say most of the time, all of the time. Well, say most of it. It still is most of the time because there are times when you breath work technically is you telling yourself to breathe in a certain order, but you still are able to breathe. Be grateful for all of that. So, if you want to be reminded or stay reminded, adorn some peach waist beads. Also in some cultures, peach also represents there's a set of African women that I believe the waist beads they use are coral, but I feel like because the energy of both of them are similar. And then when I came across this, it wasn't necessarily them, but it was just listed. But some cultures they use peach as a sign of purity, virginity, youth, and virtue. So it also represents high moral standing. So there are cultures that assign peach to children only, and it don't say it. In my head, I would say that's more of a warning, like it's young, but a child being a child is a warning, So I don't know. I that was, but anyhow, the next color is teal. So teal is cool. Teal is like water. Teal is blue. It's calm. Whenever you're thinking about the qualities of teal, you can, and you can't remember quite what they are because I don't know. Why would you know teal and not blue, but blue? If you, let's say you're already aware of your chakras and your blue chakras, and like I mentioned earlier, blue is communication. It's your throat chakra. Whenever you are having trouble expressing yourself, anytime you are expressing yourself, what being walked over, not able to erect your boundaries effectively enough, you need yourself some teal, you need yourself some blue, you need yourself some turquoise, any of those kind of colors. Anytime you are on a journey of self-discovery, growth, self-growth, if you are trying to lose some weight, teal. I think I'm just gonna mix teal and turquoise because a lot of these qualities are the same, and I feel like it would be nice to have like a aqua type of set of waist beads with some light blues. So light blues and serene and stuff like that too, and some teal. Um, oh, purple just came to mind. I'm not sure why. Oh, it's like a lapis lazuli. That would be nice to mix with some teal. But if you are in a turbulent relationship, or you're exiting one or wanting to exit one, definitely get some self-worth, self-power, self-esteem, and confidence with some blue. But it's not going to be that same raw, rugged, rough confidence as a fuchsia or pink. So whenever we talk about invoking these energies, think about it as a spectrum, and there's different levels depending on what color, how vibrant the color is, and the shades, intensities, all of that, right? There are times where you might go to a club, and the certain colors that they use are going to invoke different energies. A lot of this, it's not voodoo hocus pocus anything. It's just common sense at this point, or should be. But yeah, color, whenever you think of red and yellow together, fast food. So I go off on a tangent sometimes. Sorry. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. It's me. All right. So let's see. Balancing. Yeah, like I was saying, calm, balancing, just anything. Um, Yeah, whenever you want to be very clear, like I say, with communication, emotionally balanced. Turquoise is the next color. Turquoise represents, just like teal, communication, stillness, purity, self growth, development. You're going to wear some teal if you want to lose some weight. Teal is an appetite, not teal. I was talking about teal too, but both of them. Turquoise, appetite suppressants. Use that. Remind yourself with some turquoise waist beads. Turquoise is also honesty, wisdom, and whenever you are trying to make big breakthroughs, so think of if you want to become something else, like let's say you're going to school, going back to school, learning a trade, if you want to become an entrepreneur, if you want to start a new job, if you want to just have a confidence of knowing that you can do something, invoking that type of energy, you're going to want to wear some turquoise and teal and blue, lapis lazuli. Mix that up in there. There's turquoise crystals, but usually those are just like sprayed and stuff from what I know. I'm not the hugest expert. I know what I know and I experience what I've had over the years, and um, I feel like you need to learn the things um, whenever you can, and say whenever you can, whenever it's available to you. So don't feel pressured to have access to things. We are, if you're living in America, especially living in a consumer society, and it's very difficult to not just overindulge in that. Whenever we talk about these colors, and I said like invoking certain energies, you want to lay back, well, head back, hmm, fall back from overspending, overdoing, embrace some teal. And teal is going to help you lock in. Make sure you're working on losing the weight. Make sure you're working on getting stuff done every day towards your goals. So overall, I feel like I'm being inspired to make a bluish, stillish, um, that kind of energetic waist bead, and I can see some of the classic Evil Eyes incorporated. Because if you do know about Evil Eyes, um, it's to ward off any malevolent spirits. Any when I say spirits too, it doesn't mean like hocus pocus necessarily either. Just energetically, whenever somebody has a little jealousy in their heart, sometimes, most of the time, people don't understand that those thoughts that they have become things. It can become um, living energy beings that will you kind of shoot out at other people knowingly and unknowingly. But you might see something that you like that someone has, and instead of your thoughts being how can I obtain that myself, or and usually the best way is to ask the person about it genuinely, but some people do have a tendency to just, even if they never even encountered the particular thing that someone has, and they see, oh, that's nice, why does that person have it, as opposed to, I wonder if I could have it, or how can I get that, um, there's usually nothing wrong with asking. It's very rare where you ask somebody about something that they have and they are nasty about it. It's rare. Most people are um, encouraged to let you know because they feel flattered that you see something that they have or like, and you would want the same for yourself. All right. So don't be afraid to ask for things, but because the opposite to that can sometimes be um, come out manifest in a, would say, more negative way. Um, so anyway, whenever that does happen, like I said, a lot of the time it's unknowingly. So if you cast that towards someone, if the person is who's receiving that, a lot of the time the it said that I'm pointing here like I actually have it set on, but it said that the waist beads, the not waist beads, it said that the evil eye is meant to absorb, and usually they break. If it breaks, you're not supposed to put them back on, but it absorbs all that energy that is being sent to you. The origins of the evil eye. Originally, I read that it was Turkey. Then I have come across and they said where was it? I think it was Rome that they said it next, but ultimately I'm seeing as far back as ancient Kemet that the evil eye was incorporated in some of the drawings and things. Of course, the colors and stuff I feel like maybe have come from all those other countries. Just like how pizza came to be. You think of Italy when you think of pizza, but I believe pizza came from Greece and it was just the tomato and basil on top, and then I don't believe Italians even added cheese. I think it was Americans that added cheese to the pizza that we know today, but it went through all of those sauces. But then Italians put tiny bit of cheese in their meals. I don't want to say tiny bit. It's not as much as American Italian food. Because you see lasagna in America. All right, so let's go back to turquoise. Okay, so the last one, I didn't even remember this. So I made a video last year. Everything was perfect except the audio, so I couldn't post it. I loved how I looked in that too. But I couldn't post it. I tried to fix the audio everywhere I could. I got frustrated and I just decided to take notes from that video. So I wrote them down from the video the other day, but I did not remember which colors I chose. So the last one is light blue. And I've mentioned it a few times because I know it's connected to the other one. So I don't want to be too redundant, but like I mentioned before, it's communication. I keep saying communication because I need you to understand it is very important to communicate in this world, and it's not just speaking to someone and hearing what they're saying, it's the interpretation of what they're saying and allowing different perspectives in order for you to receive full understanding. And you'll never completely receive complete understanding because whatever your experiences and their experience are completely different in this world. So it's going to be slightly different to what they originally understood. But if you know that you can answer or ask questions first. Ask them questions just to make sure you are on the same page as a person. Blue helps to remind you to do that. But yeah, you can ask a lot of questions to get full clarification as what they want or what their needs are, what they experience, that what they expect, um, as opposed to just hearing things, taking it for face value, not wanting to appear ignorant and then being ignorant and just trying instead of learning, understanding what they mean, knowing, and then executing. So, alas, we've come to the end. I didn't really want to announce that. You've probably gone now. If you're still here, again, the resources are going to be in the bottom. This video will be edited. Hopefully, I'm going to break them down into pieces and hopefully it makes sense. I have a live series coming I'm gonna say every morning yet, maybe every other morning to start with, but it is targeted towards single mothers that are surviving. I don't want to say struggling. You could use that term if you want to. I don't think that's the best way. And I don't even love surviving, but it's the best description of what we're having to do at this time, whether you have younger children, older children, if you have multiple children. I can't help you as much with the multiple children, but I know there are going to be women in the comment section that will be able to. So if you are looking for a community, someone to help you develop and grow, and go through the true, let's say, trials, tribulations, the trauma of single motherhood. And it's not just mothers that are not with a partner. These are married single mothers too, because having a man does not mean that you're not a single mother anymore. So, um, mothers who can see that they are single mothers and need to, that are married single mothers and they need to a way out of that situation or of that feeling. Um, I want to help provide resources to give a way out of a not so pleasing situation, find ways to make money, share ways to make money with mothers, and sharing some of the resources where you things that you can do with your children in tow and still make some money. One of the easier things, or say easier, one of the things that I want to explore with you, because it's something that was my idea and that's why I started YouTube in the first place. But finding what your niche is you these days. There's things have changed. You are your niche. A lot more vlogging, a lot more life experience, a lot more realness. Um, a lot more things that were on TikTok. These are being taken over here. People are being a lot raw and real. I'm talking about the struggles, and I want to talk about that over here too, but not just talk about it, but work through it in order for us to start a revolution of not having single motherhood be demonized as much, and just embodied as much. We don't need as many single mothers that are just surviving. We need to be able to be thriving, and we need to be able to be experiencing life. One of the things I do advocate is waiting, and that's more of a recent discovery. When I say recent too, I don't mean it's like, oh, I just thought of it yesterday, but it's been a while. Because before I was under the impression that it was best to have your children younger, you can grow with them and yada yada yada. But then I've realized now I am older and I've experienced growing with my child. I 10 out of 10 wouldn't recommend. You need to learn who you are. You need to raise yourself first. And you're going to need at least 10 years before having children to know who the heck you are before you incorporate anything or anyone into that space. So, decentering men, centering yourself, decentering your children. It's not nice to say, and I'm not gonna go as far as to say F them kids, even though it's funny and a lot of the time you do feel like that, but no, for real, you definitely need to put yourself first, put yourself only, and then whatever you have spills over to everybody else. And that's what we're going to be doing here. We're going to work on ways to save money. We're going to be traveling with our children. Whether we have a lot or a little, we're going to work on what we have and make it a lot, little, a lot. And I have lots of experience doing that over the years. There are lots of programs available, simple things that we may know about, but we don't think about in a way that will really help us more. I want to encourage mothers, just anyone really, but use that health insurance. If you have health insurance, use it, use it, use it. All of the specialists, if you whatever you can get away with not paying extra co-pays too much with, because there are some specialists you can go to and you're not paying co-pays. A lot of the time it's just like a free visit and you get to learn a full body maps, find out where you are health wise, because without you, those children aren't going to survive the way. Well, you don't want them to survive, you want them to thrive, right? So you just need to make sure you are 100% taken care of. I will be coming to you with recipes to get us off of the processed junk food and eat things that are more protein, fiber filled, and taste delicious. I am firmly saying first, let me say, not everything has to taste good. No. But I do feel like it's our responsibility to find ways for things to taste good instead of just saying, "Oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I don't," because it does it. We have to prioritize these things, and I'm going to help with ways to do that. All right. It's not all gonna be easy in the beginning. Sometimes it never feels like it's easy, and that's more to do with you. You have to change your mindset, but we'll work on techniques. So going forward on my channel, we're going to be helping one another, building community online, and teaching one another how to build community within your circle. We need to build villages. We need to communicate with our neighbors. And if it's a daunting feeling to say, oh gosh, I don't like these people around, I don't want to try and, I would strongly urge you to try. Just you might not be in the best neighborhood or a place where you feel comfortable or where you really want to be, but there are other people around you that are similar to you. So if you can find that other person or other people, you can help one another. So you can move on from the survival mode of single parenthood to the thriving. Um, as far as the married single mothers, a lot of the time is your partner is just not like-minded enough, and vetting the right partner comes with knowing yourself, and you're attracting the right partner comes with knowing yourself. That's another reason I keep I say keep, I haven't started much on here, but that's what I've been really pushing for you to get to know yourself, become her before you lose the little bit of what was developed in the first 18 years of your life, where another was responsible for your thoughts and feelings and things. You are responsible for your thoughts and feelings, but I mean mentally we give that away. It's all indoctrination. A lot of it has to do with religion. um being told that your power is outside of you as opposed to inside. So we are going to unlearn some of those traits, and we are going to empower ourselves, empower our children. And if we already are in our early 20s with 3 or 4, we might want to look into ways of not having any more for now, and figuring out um, how we got there. And that don't care what your financial situation is. If you're that young with that many children, there is something a little off, because so forth and multiply has been taken out of hand. It's not responsible. It's not responsible for you. It's not responsible for another person. I always think about, in case if there's an emergency, and right now the Katrina documentary is coming up, and people are speaking about that a lot. But I think about, if there is an emergency and there are two parents, I feel like having more than three little ones among two parents, it's scary. Like if you need to drag them, pull them, grab, like get small children out of a dangerous situation. Having three small children with one person is really scary. I saw a video on TikTok, was it last year, of a mother, um, I think she had 3 or 4 children in that van, and they were probably 12 and under, like 12-year-old, 8-year-old, or whatever. And there was a tornado. She had to park in the parking lot, but then she had to get out, and all kids had to get out to run to shelter. All children are scared in that situation, as the mom is. Everybody's doing their own thing. People aren't hearing. It's not like they're not listening. They don't hear you because they're in shock, right? Children need their parents, and if you are a mother of 4 children under the age of 5, 6, it, it's difficult. If it's you taking care of yourself, it's difficult taking care of one other person, but to take care of And if you are already in a situation where you are doing it single, like as you aren't consistently with one person, and you've just ended up in a situation where you've entertained another man, and in that situation again, you definitely need to do step back and join us with this work. Let's discover why things are going the way they are. There's no judgment. It is just like one of the things that I find it difficult for other people. I've noticed that I am straightforward. I speak up just matter of fact. I've been censoring myself a lot on the internet, censoring that on the internet. I feel like there's a lot of things that just are, and yes, there's times where my thought process will change on things, of course, when you're exposed to more information. But for the most part, um, looking at it from many angles, we there's a lack of love somewhere along the way. Um, whenever and whenever you're coping by having more and more children. I didn't want to make that into another video, and I feel bad that I even went there, but I want that to be one of those messages. Just first, young ladies, let's say you're 18, now you want to find your way more. Don't have children, don't get, if you want to date. If you are going to be intimate, please, 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 please don't get pregnant. I don't need to tell you what to do not to get pregnant. Maybe I need to do another video if you do really want that, but don't get pregnant. Don't make him convince you to not use something. Don't make anyone convince you to allow that to happen to you. And that's what happen. It's your choice if you do end up getting pregnant at that point. Because your mother's probably told you, aunts probably told you, people say all the time, you hear it on the internet, and it isn't something where it's like that's completely out of your control. Of course, there's reasons where a person will become impregnated out of their control, and we're not obviously. I don't like when people conflate and let's not be silly. Do what you can to not get pregnant. I will elaborate a little more in other videos. I'm glad you stayed with me. One moment. You're still here. I'm glad you stayed all the way to the end. I am going to end just like that. So bye.